for the upper cervical folks, which is the consult, the exam, x-rays that are appropriate, and a report for $99. If you're interested in jumping into chiropractic care. If I was running the country, I think everybody would be assigned a chiropractor, you know? So like you get that. Most of the people outside here, they just think chiropractic is for neck pain, back pain, and headache. And what I want to assure you is that when I get to work on you, which is just an amazing privilege and honor, it turns your nervous system back on, so it can do the dance that it's supposed to do, directed by the genes that you have inside you that are asleep for 60% of us. So the way that I wanted to start to wrap this up was to introduce that to you, to have you think about what kind of an action step that you want to take. So the girls are going to be available after this at the table to talk to you, to decide if you have if you're ready to make that decision. And then I guess I just want to finish, I think, just to be respectful of time. Just one more story, because it's why it was a game changer. You heard about my mom. It's not just the want to be a chiropractor and help people with their health quest. Part of that started my whole faith walk. And part of that was the chiropractic thing. But when I was in college, so some of you know, because I just ramble at the office. So some of you know that I had three senior semesters. Does anybody know that? No. So I know. So I had to be selective with what I'm going to share, you know. So I wasn't the best student. I went to Bloomsburg, I got an accounting degree first, and then I decided the chiropractic I had the light bulb go on. That's part of you'll hear that another time. But so we had a guy named Dr. Woodward. Did you have Dr. Woodward ever? Do you know that name? So Dr. Woodward. He had it was business research class. So you have to know that I didn't care. I was one of those students. I was just going to get the piece of paper, because that's why my dad wanted us to go to school. Get the paper, more doors will open to you. Good luck. That's what he said. You know? And then because of the history, right, because of my mom, I thought, I don't want to go to college. But because of what he went through, I thought, well, it's the least that I could do for him. So Dr. Woodward, we took a test the week before, and in this class, he was handing back the tests. So we had a stack of papers, and then he got to me, and he just threw it at me. And I said, Foedisch, I want you in my office at 1 o'clock on Friday. I'm thinking, I didn't care. I had a D-. It wasn't an F. You know? I was like, what's this guy's thing? I just want to get out of here, you know? So I was shocked. I had no idea where that came from. I thought, oh my gosh, he knows my dad. You know? Or, oh my gosh, he knows my uncle or something. And what did I do to his car in the town? You know? I don't know. So that was on a Tuesday. So I had to wait Wednesday, wait Thursday, and then I started thinking oh my gosh. I started getting nervous. Walked into his office. I remember walking up the street, because his office was in Elwell. And I walk up the street. Every street in Bloomsburg is about that steep. I remember sweating. I walked in there, and he was still ticked off at me. And he said, sit down, with grit teeth. So I sat down, shocked. I thought he had the wrong guy, for sure. And I sat down, and then he got up, And then he like walked past me, and then he locked the door. He's a business research professor. And then I thought, this is going to happen. So I looked on his desk for like an envelope opener or paperweight or something. So like ready to go. And then I could see behind him was a window, and I was looking at his reflection, because if he was coming over the top of me, I was going to get him, you know? College was great. But here comes the profound part. So, he didn't hit me, but he came around, and then you're going to appreciate this. He got in my face, literally, like this close. I found out later, like he was a military drill sergeant guy, and he was pissed at me, big time. So he just started ripping into me and using words I didn't even know existed. Every word that you know, and 30 more. It felt like 10 minutes. It was probably 2. So I say to folks that he ripped me a new one. It was bad. It was. He was so mad that I was so apathetic as a student. He was so mad that I just would come when I would want to come. He was so mad that like a D- was okay. And it was for me. That's where I was. And he just was furious. So he threw the test back at me. He said, do this again, have it on my desk on Monday. And, so there goes the weekend. I said, oh, really? But I went to my wife now, Chris, and then she helped me do that paper, gave it back to him, and then he said, see what you can do when you try. But I didn't understand. I didn't get it. And then 2 months later, fast forward 2 months later, I showed up after being out with my friends at 3 o'clock in the morning at Chris's house, banging on the door. So you know how that went, right? So she stiff-armed me on the pad on the porch and said, "Get in the car." And we got in the car, and then she proceeded to rip me a new one because she was disgusted. Also, I thought. So I tell people, like, Dr. Woodward ripped me, Chris ripped me, and I'm never going to have a constipation problem. So, and I was puzzled. And here's the point, though. Here's the point. I was unable at the time to comprehend why they would do that. And then both of those human beings I learned loved me enough to get in my face because they could see something in me that I was unable to see in myself. And it was profound. It took time for me to see that. So, in a way, I've been kind of hiding chiropractically for 35 years, and I know that this is the time that I'm being asked and called to step out to do this with a team and share some of these things that can be hard. I mean, you're all patients, so it's kind of a friendly environment, but some of it can be challenging. And I wanted to share that story because your body is unbelievable because of the Creator that made it and the instructions that we have in us. If we are congruent with them, we get to enjoy the fruit of that. If we're not, then we'll just continue with what we've experienced. So, again, thank you so much for taking the time out to come out here. It means a ton. I hope you got something introduced to you. Take that and run with it. If you're prepared to think about what you want to do with your next step, just see the girls. Tammy and Sharice will be at that desk out there. If there's nothing else that you want to do except maybe guarantee that you get good nutrition in you because it's horrendous, you'll see in the office, some of you may be on it, but it's called the Edison Pack. That's some of the nutrition that we use. Dr. Benler is another mentor that I have, and it's just, I use that because I know that it's great nutrition. That's available to you too, if you want to just take some kind of a step. So I want you to either commit to yourself to jump into the workshops as we go forward. If you're interested in a little step like the nutrition, I think we're making that available for $68 tonight. If you're interested in the upper cervical work, Because it is special, we're just going to drop that to $79. If you're interested in chiropractic care for the first time ever, same thing. We're just going to do it for us for $79 as a thank you, if you're interested in that. But if you have any questions that arise from our discussion, just write it down and bring it in your next visit, and we'll just keep chatting. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. It's awesome.